So one of the things that I think is really important is, as you're progressing on playing guitar, is to be able to learn every note on every fret to where it becomes like breathing. So as soon as you look at that, you know that's a G sharp. You look at that, you know it's a B. You know, G sharp. Just bam. You see the fret, you see the string, and and that is not. That's going to keep you from getting too locked into patterns, because you'll begin to see the fretboard and you'll see the notes, and it'll become second nature, like breathing. And that is entirely possible to do. It's like we don't think about breathing, we just breathe, you know. And so it's just a matter of starting slow and looking at the fretboard and learning all those different notes. Thereby you can kind of not be too, you know, you're going to play arpeggios, which I do when I play lead. But at the same time, as I hit the note, I want to be able to know that that's the note on that fret, you know, so I can be aware of that and not just kind of blindly playing patterns. Now within that, you know, it's nice to just put some melody into it, so it isn't just playing patterns. And that can just be done by thinking about the chord structure, you know, as you think about the chord structure. So I can just not play, you know, stock patterns, just use them to your service, but kind of branch out and put some melody in there. And then also putting a lot of personality and different flares, different techniques that kind of embellish what you're trying to play.
Okay, there's one kind of interesting tonality that happens a lot in like heavy metal music and jazz music and classical music and pretty much everything, and maybe even country music sometimes. I think there's some old song standards have a lot of this tonality. It's called diminished. And in the diminished world, there are a million ways to finger these things. And I'll show you a couple of mine, and hopefully you can learn from those and how they differ from other guys. And most guys in heavy metal and rock music have their own way to play diminished, and here's a couple of them that I'll just run off for you, and hopefully you can get them. What I like to do is add notes that are not necessarily in the diminished chord. Diminished chord, a pure diminished chord has a step and a half between all the notes, but I like to throw chromatics in there sometimes. So, for example, a diminished chord would be, diminished arpeggio would be that, but I like to throw in like a half step before it starts. So this one, you know, just by nature, I do things that are slightly odd in meter. A lot of guys by nature would probably do something really in time with a diminished run, like, but I might just by nature do something like this. Just because that's my rhythm. I would normally gravitate to something like that. But to break it down, what I'm doing is I'm playing a diminished, but I'm throwing in this half step before it. Now when you're up here, when you're in this position, you can also use that same type of half step here. So, that's one diminished idea for you. And another one that I like to do is, it's in the song Self-Pollution, and I do something like this. And then like many people do in diminished situations, they'll move it up 3 frets. Yeah, so what's cool about that to me, and why that's the way I interpret it, is because of where the ones fall. Like, I'm starting the lick before the downbeat. It's not. It's. It just kind of, the notes fall in kind of a swinging kind of place that I like to let them fall. So it also allows you to do a diminished that kind of skips the intervals. Instead of just going straight up, you go. You get your half step in there. Okay, now that I showed you a little diminished thing, I want to do what I'm always telling you to do, kind of use it in a sentence, so to speak. So what kind of application does a diminished lick happen like in a song? So there's a little diminished kind of phrase in one of my songs called Self-Pollution. I'm going to show that to you right now, and then I'm going to explain it in great detail. Check it out.
I learned from just listening what the scales were. So I knew the mathematic connection of the scales, right? So one scale, certain notes don't go there, certain notes go there. So I would improvise, and I learned patterns like arpeggios, which is, you know, a violin thing. I never heard somebody play that on a guitar, ever. And patterns like stuff like that. That's what I kind of built it out of that. The whole thing of getting a soaring vibrato and the wide lines and everything. It's hard to describe. I actually wrote a book called Relentless that describes everything in detail.
That's all for this session. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell for more lessons in the future. Make sure you check out the other lessons on our channel, and don't forget to head over to TrueFire.com for the full experience. We have synchronized tabs, jam tracks, and a massive library of courses covering all topics a guitarist could ever want to learn. Until next time.